Lala salama. Lala salama is a Swahili phrase, it's a Swahili term, and it means sleep well. Lala salama. Let's say it again. Lala salama. This is your home girl. Babosa. 914 Westchester County, New York, coming to you with another live video. I'm not going to be up here very long. Just want to come through real quick. As you can read the title, you can read the title, and it's true, the LGBTQ community, not all of us, just some of us, deem it necessary to step on other people's toes. Some of us, not all, seems to think it's okay to step on other people's toes. Now, a lot of us in the gay community and the LGBTQ community, we've had some, not all, some of us have had some terrible experiences with dealing with heterosexual people, heterosexual relationship, whatever the case may be. And in a lot of cases, a lot of the young ladies, a lot of the females were sexually violated by people who are heterosexual. Yeah. And people talk about it, but I think it's being brushed under the rug. I do think that certain things are being brushed under the rug because people don't want to have uncomfortable conversations. They don't want to have certain types of talking. You know what I mean? And I've seen some heterosexual people just be totally homophobic. We got a lot of homophobes running around in real life. We got a lot of homophobes running around in real fucking life. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, man. And I can count on my hand how many times people in the heterosexual community has done something wrong to me. I can count on my hands how many times people who call themselves being heterosexual have done something dirty and underhanded to me. I'm not talking about nobody else. I'm not focusing on nobody else. I'm only talking about me because I only can speak for me. I cannot be the spokesperson or the lawyer for anyone in this world, in real life. I cannot speak for anyone. But I was violated at the age of 9, okay? The man was way older than myself. Way older. Matter of fact, I was 9, he was 40. Let's keep it real and let's keep it cute. So, of course, I grew up with a chip on my shoulder about men. About all men. Males, boys, whoever. I had an issue with them. I had chips on my shoulder. Even now, at the age of 53, still chips on the shoulder. Doesn't matter if some of my attitudes have changed as the years have passed, as I have grown older. Certain things never die. They never die. And now I'm starting to see why a lot of people, a lot of the children in the community, in the LGBTQ community, loves to step on the toes of heterosexuals. Now I see why a lot of them like to sling mud that way. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. So there's a lot of shade being thrown between both communities, the heterosexual and the LGBTQ community. Everyone likes to say that the LGBTQ community is very united. For certain things, they are united. Yes, they are. But there's a lot of division in the community. There's racial division. There's age difference division. Oh, yes. And there, believe it or not, there are some transphobic people in the LGBTQ community. We got a lot of old school dogs who hold on to old traditions. That's why during the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, a lot of the children who were running some of the houses and running the ball culture scene in New Jersey, New York, California, wherever the ball culture was at, a lot of the young ones were trying to move a lot of the older ones, a lot of older members out of the way. There's a lot of things going wrong in the LGBTQ community. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. And I have explained certain things, but it just seems like those messages are not getting through. But it's fine. It's fine. Some things are hard to remove and hard to die out. But there's a whole new generation of young LGBTQ community members who take very great pleasure at disrespecting those who are heterosexual. And their main target, most of them, not all, target the women. They target females. They call you fish. Yes, we got young men who are part of the LGBTQ community who 13, 14 years old make it their business to call a woman fish, to call a woman different names, because they have problems with women. It's not just heterosexual beta males. We got some in the LGBTQ community that got problems with women. Not all, but some. But there is a whole new generation, and I'll tell you, they outnumber those that might have a positive attitude towards those that are heterosexual. We got a whole new generation who just totally disregard. They want to step on the toes of those that call themselves heterosexual. Now, there's something I just learned just recently today by looking on a video. I discovered a video on the YouTubes, and it was a young woman, and she was explaining how when you have sexual relations with a man and you're in a long-term relationship with that man and you having children with that man becomes a part of you. They become a part of you. And a lot of you young ladies, you like to have multiple baby daddies. I don't understand the reason for that. I don't understand the reason why you have to have multiple baby daddies. You may have 5 children and 3 men are the fathers of your 5 children, which is really sad. It's sad. And it's discouraging. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. But yeah, I'm not going to be up here very long. But I just wanted to come through and say that. You know what I mean? Just before I lay down, go to sleep, just before I go to bed, I just couldn't hold it in my chest anymore, on my chest anymore. You know what I mean? I had been thinking about talking about it, or this certain situation for a while, but I just kept putting it off and kept putting it off. But I noticed that there are some people who are heterosexual who are homophobic. When certain people don't behave a certain way that they think that people should behave, they want to automatically ask them about their personal sexual life. What somebody does in their bedroom is nobody's business. Let's say that for the people that are slow in the back. What people do in their own bedrooms, or lack of, or whatever the case may be, is nobody else's business. I'm just saying it just like that, because I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Number one, I've been a part of the LGBTQ community for over 24 years, okay? And I don't find myself wondering about what other people are doing in their bedrooms. I don't give a fuck about what other people do in their bedrooms. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't do anything for me. Not at all. But you got a lot of heterosexual people who are constantly worried and they are concerned about something that has nothing to do with them. They refuse to mind their own business. Now, I don't care what nobody else say. I don't see a whole lot of LGBTQ community, homosexuals, putting their relationships on social media. I don't see a whole lot of it. You might got 2, maybe 3 influencers that do it, but I don't really see a whole lot. But you heterosexuals, you like to say you're dating Tom, Dick, and Harry. Some of you like to say you're dating Anne, Mary, and Lisa. You like to say who you're dating. You like to call their names. You like to tell the whole world that you're fucking these people. But I don't really see a whole lot of homosexuals doing that. I don't see those that are queer doing that. We don't have to broadcast what the fuck we do. It's not necessary. Some of us do it, some of us don't. Some of us want you to see who we're fucking around with. Some of us don't want you to see who the fuck we're fucking around with. Some of us are bisexual. We don't give a goddamn if the whole world sees who the fucking and who we're talking to. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. So there's a lot of you heterosexuals. You are not perfect. You're not God Almighty. Some of you don't even believe that you are made in the image of God. You say you believe in God, but you really believe in nothing. You have no belief in nothing. And you want to try to condemn those that lifestyle is totally different from yours. And that is what I call homophobic. People that are overly concerned and worried about what homosexual people are doing, and they always have some kind of complaint against homosexuals. Those are homophobic people. There is no other way of saying it. And it's a sickness. It's something that someone lives with. It's something that's constant on their mind. I just don't see myself being worried about what a woman and a man is doing in their fucking house, in their fucking bedroom. I don't give a fuck what they do. You know what? Because I was just in my house the other night and I heard a woman screaming. And she wasn't screaming because she was having a birthday party. She was screaming because her male counterpart was beating the shit out of her. A lot of you heterosexual women like to get the fuck beat out of you. A lot of you like rough sex. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets, and that's a reality, man. Not all, but some. A whole lot of you. So, yes, the other night, some bitch across the way was hollering and screaming. You know why? Because her old man was jumping on her ass, beating her ass. And I see a whole lot of more domestic violence going on between heterosexual couples than what goes on with the homosexuals, with us queers. And I have been in relationships with both men and women. And most of the physical altercation or the fights usually broke out between me and the man, not me and the woman. I have laid up in certain places, in certain apartments, certain houses, in a bed somewhere, a strange noise will happen. The man will continue to lay there. He wants to be a woman. He wants to be a bitch. But if a woman hears that same type of suspicious noise or suspicious activity going outside, she's going to jump up. She's going to investigate what the fuck is going on. She will confront the issue. A man will not. And that is what I'm starting to see a whole lot of. A whole lot. Shout out to the chat. Hey, what's up, Khadijah? Yeah. Let me find my glasses, man. I can read what you're saying. I know I'm putting them somewhere. Hold on. It goes in, out, and out, and out. Jamaicans call homosexuals fish. That's it. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Khadijah, but I've been hearing a lot of homosexual males call women fish. Yeah. Arabia, there's start higher amongst lesbian. No, not necessarily true. No. I will say that heterosexual couples have more domestic violent situation that going on. Trust me. It's more common between a man and a woman. It's more common between a man and a woman. I'm going to put it like this. When I date a woman, I don't have these domestic violence issues. When any of my sisters date women, they don't have any domestic violence issues. It's only when we invite men into the party is there a fucking issue. And I can only go by what I see personally in my family. I can only go by what I see. And the last time I looked, Sergeant Crystal Reagan was not killed by a woman. She was killed by a man. A bitch ass nigga who hated the word divorce. So that's the way I'm going to say it. People can say whatever they want to say about lesbians. The main people that's saying anything about lesbians, they don't know anything about being truly homosexual. They don't. They only know what they show on TV or in the movies, which is very little, because they don't really talk about lesbians like that on the TV too much. It's just like when they came out with certain movies, like they came out with the movie, it was called Queen. It came out what? They filmed it in 1967. That was dealing with men. That was dealing with drag queens. Okay? And then as time moved on, they came out with a movie called Paris is Burning. And you didn't see a whole lot of the females really having complaints about too much. It was mostly the men. It was mostly those. It was the ones that was dressed that was I'm gonna put it like this. It wasn't really the ones that was wearing the dresses that were complaining about everything and bitching. It was that looked like men, walked like men, talked like men, worked jobs like men, but they were really bitches with dicks. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. There was a recent list. I don't care. I don't care about a recent lesbian domestic violence situation. I don't give a damn about that. I'm talking about what goes on in my life and the people around me. I don't give a fuck about perfect strangers. I don't. Just me and mine. And we don't have problems like that. You nip that shit in the bud when you first meet the person. You let them know, look, I'm not going to put up with X, Y, and Z. Matter of fact, when you're dating somebody, the first week that you're dating them, they telling you everything about themselves that you're going to need to know anyway. And if you refuse to acknowledge what they're saying or what they're showing to you, then that's on you. I don't give a damn about what happened in Baltimore. I don't live in Baltimore. I don't give a damn. For real, for real. Because I'm talking about my personal experience. I can't speak for nobody else. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people. They want to speak for other people. Fuck other people because they're not in your house. They're not in your life. I don't give a fuck about what kind of lesbian couple had some kind of domestic violence situation in Baltimore, Maryland. I don't give a damn about that. I'm not related to none of them bitches, so I don't give a fuck. Just as long as it is not happening to me or none of mine, I could care less. I could care less. But like I said, I don't remember none of my sisters ever having to fight any of their girlfriends. I only remember them fighting the men that was in their fucking lives. And these men got a whole lot of nerve to fight a woman. When a woman get pregnant by you, her whole life is in danger. These men, they don't give a fuck about these bitches. They really don't. You fuck a bitch, you get a bitch pregnant, that bitch has her DNA all in her fucking body, behind her eyes, in the stem of her spine, wherever. It's in her blood. She carrying the man's child, the man's bastard child. The woman goes to the hospital. The woman don't fucking make it. You don't see none of those men stepping up, talking about they gonna take custody of their children. A lot of them run away. Trust and believe. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. A lot of you women, you sacrifice yourself too much for these fucking men. You know it, and I fucking know it. And that's what we need to protect ourselves from. But yeah, we got a whole new generation of LGBTQ, aka queer, homosexual, a whole new generation that don't feel like the way I feel. They don't feel like the way I feel. Because back in the day, during the 80s and 90s, a lot of the girls were getting killed. Not because they stole anything from anybody or they did anything to anybody. It's because some of those men were found out to be men. A lot of the girls were getting killed. And when I mean girls, I mean a lot of the drag queens and a lot of the transsexuals were being murdered. A lot of lesbians around that time were being murdered. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. And I hate when people use the Bible and say, well, in the Bible, it say that, God made Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. Yeah, there's also there's different parts in the Bible that's not in the Bible. Like before God created Adam and Eve, he created Adam and Lilith. And Lilith refused to submit to Adam. So she got put out of the Garden of Eden. So what did God do? God put Adam back to sleep and he created another woman for him. A smaller version of Lilith. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah. There's a lot of things that's in the Bible a lot of people don't practice. People use that Bible for a weapon of mass destruction. I call it spin the Bible. Spin the Bible. And a lot of people don't know what that term means, but I guess we'll talk about it next go around. We'll talk about it next go around. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. So yeah, man, we got some people. There's a lot of heterosexuals that have always been homophobic, had always hated homosexuals, and they made it loud and proud. And those people usually they become very physically confrontational. Because during the 80s, I don't know if you remember Khadijah. Khadijah, I think you're way younger than myself. But anyway, during the 80s, there was a lot of men, a lot of heterosexual men that were angry with the homosexual men. They were angry with the men that were drag queens. They were angry with the men that they called sissies. They were angry with the transsexuals. Now there's a brand new man. Well, actually, he's not brand new. He's been here all the fucking time. We got a lot of masculine men, a lot of masculine looking men who dress like men, who talk like men, who walk like men, who act like men, but they love for another man to suck their dick. They love for another man to suck their dick. Oh, we got a whole lot of them running around. And I'm telling you, this whole new generation, they're not going to take the same abuse that some of the brothers have taken in the past. And there was one, I don't know, Khadijah, I don't know if you remember, but there was a movie, it was called Paris is Burning. And they were featuring different drag queens that ran different houses in New York, in the Village. Anyway, to make a long story short, one of the drag queens that were featured in that particular film, when she passed away a couple of years ago, not too long after they did the film project, when she passed away, they went into her apartment and went through her personal belongings, her personal things, her items, and they found a suitcase, and in the suitcase was a mummified man. It was someone that she was dating, was seeing, and the person was being very, I think, very physically abusive towards her. She just got sick of his ass, got her gun, she killed him. Instead of, dumping his body in the Hudson River or someplace like that, she put it in a suitcase and buried it deep inside her closet. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, we got a lot of women. I say women. We got a lot of brothers that wear them dresses that ain't no fucking joke. They will whip your ass, or they will, better yet, kill you to get you off of them. Because I'm telling you, this whole new generation, they're not going to be putting up with all this hate going towards them. Like the way they did, they accepted it during the 60s. They put up with it during the 80s. Mugs were dying. They were dying because they wanted to tell the person they were dealing with the truth about what was going on between their legs. They didn't want to lie to them. And a lot of those sisters, or should I say, girls, were murdered. Nobody talks about this. I've heard T.S. Madison talked about it before in the past. And I've heard maybe a few others, but it doesn't really get talked about. And this is the stuff we need to, especially me, being a part of the LGBTQ community for over 24 years. I definitely need to talk about it. Oh, you heard about that? Yeah, man. But they not putting up with their bullshit anymore, Khadijah. We got some young brothers now who will put people in the ground for calling them a fag, or calling them a sissy, or trying to shame them. We don't have young men and young women anymore that's going to put up with the bullshit coming from the heterosexual community. We put up with their bullshit. Why they can't put up with ours? And they can't use their religion. They cannot use their religion. They cannot use their holy books against us, because they don't even follow everything that's in holy books or what those religions tell them. Because if they did, there wouldn't be no nuclear weapons. If they did, World War I would have never happened. World War II would have never happened. The Vietnam War would have never happened. The Korean conflict would have never happened. Slavery in this country and around the world would never have happened if people was really following what God said in those holy books on those 3 different religions. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. So that's real. People like to hide behind religion and God when they want to talk about the LGBTQ community. But if they were really following everything that their books told them about, or what they really thought that God was all about, there would have never been no slavery, and there would have never been no wars on the earth. We wouldn't have all these problems. If people who said they are Christian would have followed the real true Christian principles. If those that said that they are Muslim, they would have followed the true Muslim principles. If those that said that they were Jewish, they would have followed the Jewish principles. But no, they hide behind religion to do all the dirty work that they fucking do. Nobody talks about that. The way you pronounce nuclear weapons, yeah, I don't care. But yeah, I just wanted to come in real quick and give a couple of words. On what I see, what's getting ready to happen. Let's put a couple of words on there. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of disrespect that we put up with for years and years, and we're not going to put up with it no more. We're not going to put up with it no more. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. Me, I'm 53 years old, so I'm old, so I'm not even, looking for any confrontation. But we got some young people that are looking to put some people in the ground for just using the word faggot. Yeah, we got some people walking around that will put you 6 feet under for saying the word faggot. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your homegirl, Bubbles. 914 Westchester County, New York. We closing out this video. We want to thank everyone that came in and tippity typed or those in the bushes and in the clouds as I talked. But yeah, it's a whole new generation that is not gonna back themselves into a corner anymore and cry. They're not gonna go into a bathroom and cry. They're not gonna go back into their homes and cry anymore. We got people that are willing to put you 6 feet under for saying the words faggot, for saying the words bulldagger. Or the days of me and my homosexual beliefs or how I carry myself, those days are over. I am part of the old school. We got new school people that are not going to be putting up with their bullshit. Yeah, we got new school lesbians that are not going to be putting up with nobody's bullshit. We got new school young men, whether they be in a dress or not, are not going to be putting up with people's bullshit. Yep. And I'm out of here. Thanks for coming in, Khadijah. Thanks for moderating for me. For those that sat in the bushes or sat in the clouds, shout out to you. But shout out to the ones that actually tippity type in my chats, in the comment section. They're not afraid to hold a conversation. I don't like cowards. I don't like cowards. Because I'm going to tell you something. Khadijah, I don't know if you're still in the room, but I'm going to say it right now and very plain. If I am subscribed to someone, right, and they fucking go live, right, and I have been subscribed to these people for more than 6 months, maybe more than a year, maybe more than a month, couple of months, whatever the case may be. If I'm subscribed to you, why, when you go live, I don't support you? Yeah, there's a lot of people in this sector. I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it because if I show my support by typically typing into their fucking raggedy chat, or I support them in other ways. And these mugs, they won't tippity type in here. They won't hit the like button. They won't share the fucking video. They won't do a goddamn thing. But they want you to do everything for them. These are some selfish made motherfuckers in this sector. For real, for real. If you're subscribed to me and you're in the chat, what's wrong with you typing into the fucking chat? At least to say fucking hello. If I can do it, why you can't fucking do it? Word, man. I've had people tell me, well, like when I go in their chat, Khadijah, you don't know nothing about this, but when I go on certain people's chats, they'll tell me, oh, baby, I was in your chat, but I didn't type in. Huh? Oh, you didn't type into my chat? They're like, no, I didn't type in. I said, that person is scary. It's just like we used to have an Aunt Mary. We had an aunt. Her name was Mary. And every time she used to call the voicemail, she would say, hello, this is Mary. Things out here looking kind of scary. Call me. The woman has passed away. Don't you know my sisters still have those tapes today and they play them? They play when she used to call to the house and leave the voicemail. They still got the tapes. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. My name is Arabia, and I'm a subscriber to you. But when you go live, I'm in your chat, but I don't type. I don't say hello. I don't hit the like button. I don't do none of that. But I do that. See, I really show support. We got a lot of coward motherfuckers in this fucking sector. Cowards. Won't tippity type, won't say hello, won't hit the like button, won't share nothing, won't do a goddamn thing. But want to tell you they support you. You don't support me if you don't show the whole world that you fucking support me. And that's real. Yeah, but yeah, shout out to you, Khadijah. Shout out to you. But one thing I can say, Khadijah, when you come in my chat, you at least speak. You know what I mean? When Miss V come in my chat, Miss V speaks. When Just Jay come in my chat, Just Jay speaks. When Lonnie comes in my chat, Lonnie speaks. When DJ Cleveland come in my chat, DJ Cleveland speaks. You know what I mean? Uncle L, G Mama Body. You know? It's different ones that come through, and when they come through, they let me know, hey, baby, I'm here. You know what I mean? That's showing support. Not hiding in the fucking bushes. Some people, they work overnights. I understand that they can't tippity type, you know, all night long or during the time that I'm here. But at least when I'm here, let me know that you're fucking here. Because I won't know nothing. Watch what happens, Khadijah. I'm going to close out this video, right? And then I'm going to, as soon as I see the numbers of the people that were watching in the bushes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that on my community wall. I might take a picture of it and put it on my fucking community wall. Just to let people know, look, If you come in my chat, you ain't gotta be scary. You can at least type in and say fucking hello. These motherfuckers don't do none of that. Yeah, but shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, Kadisha, I'm giving close out this video. Shout out to might be in the bushes in the sky. Cause when you go live, I don't sit in no damn bushes and I don't sit in no damn sky. I tippity type in your fucking chat. I hit the like button. I support your channel. I'm not no fucking coward. When I support people, I show my fucking support. I don't hide. And we out of here. Thanks, Khadijah. Thank you for moderating for me. Peace out.